But Shanay, Nishant, thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's a pleasure to have you with us. It's very interesting because when we look at the youth series, we actually have not just three distinct cohorts: the under 30, the under 35, and the under 40 set of entrepreneurs. We also have first generation and multiple generation entrepreneurs. We also have people who started off from different backgrounds. We had people who started off in different geographies. So let me start off by asking you something which perhaps is common to both of you. I mean, you started your journeys very differently. In your case, in both your cases, and of course we've now been joined by Ritesh as well, so that completes the troika. But here's the first question, Ritesh. So you haven't missed much. The question to all of you, actually, and I'll request maybe you to kind of just reflect on this before you respond, is that as you started your entrepreneurial journeys, right, whether it was taking forward the family legacy or whether it was starting off with a clean slate, right, what was that one singular advantage that you had, which was, in Anas's words, your superpower, which kind of propelled you to do what you have done and beyond? Nishant, if I may request you to start.
Sure. No, I think being a second generation entrepreneur, I have been very fortunate to see my father, my grandfather, how they have been working and to really learn from those things and to understand how to conduct business is so important in life. At the same time, it also poses a challenge when you have a benchmark, when you have someone who has done extremely well and you really need to live up to the expectations people have. So I think that has been interesting, and that's why when I got into business at that time, I didn't join the family business, I started something different altogether. So to really establish what I'm trying to do myself.
Sure, thank you, thanks. Ritesh, for you, what was that one superpower?
So my superpower is very interesting. We hail from a middle class Punjabi family. My family had extremely low expectations out of me. So I had no biases, no money, my family thought that I would actually not do anything in my life. I'm a medical doctor. So yes. My grandmother would always ask me that, why aren't you pursuing medicine? Why are you doing business? So I think the biggest superpower in today's day and age is, it does not matter from where you come. It does not matter what you know. It does not matter what your education has been. The best superpower can be the ability to be a super learner and continuously just learn. And I think I've been very grateful for that.
That's remarkable. So here we have a doctor who did not practice the profession and became an entrepreneur. And in Shanay, we have a CFA who's actually taken on the mantle of growing the family's hospital business. So Shanay, let me ask you, what has been your superpower?
So first of all, thank you to Anas and to Hurun and to Avendus for having me here. In my case, the story was quite similar to my friend, where the natural choice was not to join the family enterprise. I was working with Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, and as Apurva mentioned, I have a complete finance kind of background where I've done my CFA. So, I think the biggest advantage I would say was, when I joined the 20 years of legacy, because that I think the 20 years of trust really played a big role in terms of, having that advantage, because we used to run one single unit. We run hospitals. We used to run one unit at that time. And then, over the last 10, 12 years, we've been able to scale up to now 14 units. At the same time, I think the opportunity was to find my own feet, and that's where we also started the medical implant business. So while there is an advantage, there's also a challenge and opportunity and a matter of survival in the form of this new business that we started in California.
That's remarkable. So along with a superpower also comes this element of a kryptonite. I'm not going to ask you what your kryptonite is, but I'll kind of move to another interesting point. And again, Nishant, I'll start with you. Building credibility is very, very important for any entrepreneur, irrespective of whether you're a first or a subsequent generation entrepreneur. The earlier generation, or let's say in times of yore, we had this advantage of time. You could take time and build your credibility. What do you think is the single most important element for you to build your credibility in any business?
I think it's very essential to see that how you are always honoring your commitments and you're focused upon excellence. So I would say these two are key aspects for me in anything and everything. and that's what builds credibility in any kind of relationship or engagement you have with any stakeholder, whether personally or professionally. And at the same time, what is very critical is that how do you ensure that you enhance it step by step, and anything and everything which you take up is built on relationships beyond a point. Once you are performing, you are focusing on excellence and you are committed to what you do.
Apurva sir, for me, credibility is something which is completely dependent on being online. In today's day and age, credibility is about your customers, millions of customers giving you 4.7 stars out of 5. You're a credible brand. In today's day and age, velocity of reviews, especially for a B2C brand, make consumers choose your products. And the second credibility when it comes to founders is ability to rally the teams towards one or two goals.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge in today's day and age is subtraction is not there in leadership. Leadership doesn't work by addition. It works by just focusing on 2 to 3 gross areas, being superb at those 2-3 things, and just being clear about what not to do.
That's a very profound point. I'll come back to that in just a bit. But let me move to Shanay. Shanay, how do you approach this element of building credibility?
So I think you don't start with a track record clearly. So I think, it all starts by being more reliable, punctual, dependable, when you start with. And I think at that point of time when you start out, you are given smaller problems, right? And when you solve those smaller problems, I think you build that trust. And then I think, you're able to deal with, you're empowered with bigger things.
Sure. The next question that I have is, and I must confess, I'm kind of looking at our industry from that standpoint because I have colleagues over here who would love to understand. And my request is, just be very brief. Tell me the first thing which comes to your mind. What does wealth mean to you? Shanay, why don't I request you to start off this one?
I think, so one word?
Yes.
Freedom.
Okay, that's good. Ritesh?
Actually, you please go ahead, because in one word, it's very hard to define wealth for me.
I think
Nishant,
it's
for you,
responsibility, because you are responsible not only for your own self, but your family and your generations to come. How you build wealth. And I always look at wealth like a capital allocation model perspective, what we see in business, and how you're able to ring fence your operating assets and your personal assets, and you differentiate between them. And they have different kinds of risk appetites when you're banking upon creating wealth for the future and investing in different asset classes.
As a wealth manager, it is music to my ears when I hear you say that. But thank you very much for making that point.
I'll just come on wealth. For me, I come from a very middle-class Punjabi family. We come from a village called Khanna. Taking my grandfather in a business class or my parents in first class, for me, that is wealth. Like, that ability to do it consistently is just magic. And I think one word would be family.
This is, again, very, very profound. Thank you. Thank you very much. Interestingly, I'm going to conclude. I know, we are kind of running short on time, but I'm going to conclude with you, Ritesh. I was looking at one of your remarkable videos on your LinkedIn page. You made a very, very, very profound statement over there. You said, and I quote, you said, do not do anything because the consensus is doing it. Do it because you genuinely want to do it. आपकी लाइफ में फोमो नहीं होना चाहिए, जोमो होना चाहिए.
My friend Dr. Nene is here. He's taught me something beautiful. He says, joy of missing out.
Yes.
Do things. We both are doctors. We have a lot of doctors out here who are doing business, have zero idea about business, no MBA. But the idea is, do what you are deeply passionate about, and joy of missing out. In today's day and age, you go on Instagram, you see, my wife keeps saying, "Arey, wo dekho, wo wahan pe chala gaya." And that, I think, joy of missing out is the concept for 2030. Your mental health is in your hands. Do not fear missing out things. You should actually feel happy about missing out things, because spending time being free, having freedom, having the ability to say no without consequences, spending time with your loved ones is the best dopamine in filter, according to me.
Remarkable. Thank you. Thank you so much for that very, very insightful point. I think joy of missing out is something which, has been one very remarkable takeaway for all of us. As if on cue, we've completed our time, but thank you, gentlemen. I'm sorry this was a rather brief panel, but I really enjoyed having all of you here. Thank you once again for your presence.
Happy to be here. Thanks.